Denise here, NOLA Collectibles, and welcome to my channel. I'm here today to do a kind of like thrift along with me. I took a fall trip to Pennsylvania to go visit my family that happens to live there, and it was so nice to just get out of New Orleans and get out of the heat and enjoy some seasonality. The leaves were changing colors. It was just absolutely beautiful. And, of course, whenever I go up there, I always like to hit all the thrift stores and all the antique malls and just kind of get a sense of what's going on in a different part of the country. And so it was really, really fun. I had a great time. And so I'm excited to share some of this with you. Hey guys, so today I am going to the Phillipsburg Antique Mall, which is in Phillipsburg, New Jersey. And this place is fairly new. It opened about a year ago, and they're getting tons of new vendors coming in here, and they actually have like really robust plans of expansion. The owner was like telling me about it. They're turning this like whole area into a flea market and bringing in more vendors and making it like a outdoor food cart, like all that stuff, like food mall. It sounds like it's going to be really amazing, and flea market, which is exciting to me. But I think this is a great antique mall. They have tons of vendors that carry all kinds of jewelry items. So for me, I always like to stop here when I'm in Pennsylvania to come and check things out. And so let's go in there and we'll do a little walkthrough and we'll see if we can find some jewelry treasures. So I'm excited, and let's go. So you can see there's just tons of goodies, so many jewelry items here. There was a ton of Heidi Daus. I don't know if you saw on that previous jewelry counter, just so much Heidi Daus. Really a great assortment of costume jewelry items here at the Phillipsburg Antique Mall, and the owners were just so fabulous and kind of letting me just check everything out. There's a Sarah Coventry piece over there, that bicentennial kind of red, white, and blue piece. And this lovely little jewelry box of all kinds of costume jewelry rings, which looks very exciting. And some, lots of necklaces, costume jewelry necklaces. I always love the costume jewelry pieces. You know me, this is kind of like my niche. This is where I'm at. That's where I have the most fun, so to speak. And of course, like tons of fleur-de-lis. You see all those fleur-de-lis? The fleur-de-lis follow me. It doesn't matter if I'm in New Orleans or somewhere else. I always see so many fleur-de-lis. So yeah, I'm over here, kind of back to this jewelry box, and I just like love to dig. I always do. And this is, I think, where you find all of the treasures. And like I said, this might be costume jewelry, but I can see there, you can see some of that filigree there. There's some made in Germany pieces, some made in Austria pieces there. You can tell that twisted brass look is very indicative of kind of like a made in Germany piece. This is really fun. You see that little Trifari strawberry? I think that's a Trifari strawberry right there. Those pieces tend to sell very well for me. I've sold, they have a number of kind of like fruit Trifari brooch pieces that are very similar to that, and I think I have sold one of those in the past. And so yeah, and it's so funny because Kenneth J. Lane, he's always copied so many very specific designs, and I think he did a very similar design for Avon that looks very much like that. This is very cute. That's Rebecca Collins, very upscale costume jewelry designer. She also designs quite a bit in sterling silver, and I believe she sells in Neiman Marcus. So pretty fabulous jewelry designer there. Let's see if I'm telling you lies. I think this was a Trifari piece. Let's see. Yes, it is. It is. That back is just gorgeous. I love that. Very elaborate on there. And if you know the piece I'm talking about, that Kenneth J. Lane designed for Avon, it is a complete kind of rip off of that. Then I saw these little dudes right here. They were kind of giving me Salpata vibes. They just look like sterling silver little reindeers. I thought they were so adorable. And for $3, we say yes to those. So I'm going to do like a pretty extensive haul in a second video, just because this one ended up being quite a bit long. So you'll have to stay tuned for that. I'll post, my more traditional style, where camera down and going through kind of all the pieces that I picked up during this trip. I did hit a couple of other little stores that prohibited filming in, unfortunately, so I wasn't able to kind of like film some of those experiences, but I'll definitely share that with you guys. So this booth was actually upstairs in the Phillipsburg Antique Mall, and this was a particular vendor. Her entire booth was just filled with jewelry. So just tons of beautiful sparkly things and all shapes and sizes there. You can see she had demi-pearls, she had sets, she had sterling silver. I love that. That looks like rock crystal right there, just really gorgeous, possibly set in sterling silver. I wish I would have looked at that, but unfortunately, for whatever reason, I don't know why I did not. But you know, I still have no regrets. I picked up some really good items, again, that I'm going to be happy to kind of share with you guys in my haul video. But like, look at it, look at all the gorgeous things, beautiful things. That looks like Juliana right there, that kind of swirly autumnal looking brooch. That could be more carved rock crystal right there. That's really gorgeous. So many pretty things, and I just love the way she kind of had everything displayed. I mean, there's really not much rhyme or reason here other than it's beautiful and it sparkles, which, you know, I have no problem with whatsoever. I tend to say I am like a magpie. I am attracted to the sparkle for sure. So yeah, just, I mean, how could you not stop and like look at this? It's just so many fabulous things. I mean, this is why I love vintage jewelry. And this was just like a kind of like a gorgeous assortment of cameos. I looked at that piece right in the middle with the carved, kind of looks like glass right there. And that was like about 100-year-old piece of jewelry. And it was absolutely stunning. I loved it, but she wanted about $100 for it. Also, you know me, I love vintage purses. I will always look at the vintage purses. They just don't make them like this anymore. I love the kiss locks. I love the beaded fringe. I love lucite handles. All of these things, you know, speak to my soul. So I always have to like look at these things when I'm out and about and whatnot in the thrift stores and in the antique malls. I didn't pick up anything from this particular mall in terms of purses, but I definitely, you know, they had a good selection. And again, that vendor was fabulous. And here there's just some like really fun kind of brooches. You can't overlook these displays. This one had some sterling silver items on it, and of course like a lot of costume jewelry pieces as well. That one, I feel like I've bought and sold that one quite a bit. What else kind of goodies do we have here? I like that little nautical themed one. You just always have to look, like you never know where you're going to find, because I think a lot of folks kind of think, okay, well, these are costume jewelry pieces, but you'd be surprised at what you sometimes can find mixed in with what people think is costume jewelry. And I always say this, like whenever you go out thrifting and antiquing, like it's not possible for everyone to know everything. You know what I mean? Like we don't have knowledge across the board about everything. It's impossible. So people, you know, that collect or buy or sell just like ourselves or are enthusiasts, you know, they're going to miss something. So where we might have information and knowledge about one particular area, someone else may not have that. So, you know, I always just try to always keep a lookout for everything, look everywhere. This dealer right here had a lot of costume jewelry as well. Tons and tons of stuff. You could see here it's just all piled up. Again, I just like to look through everything just to make sure I'm not missing anything. You can see there's some like really big chunky chains there and whatnot. She also had like a very beautiful kind of vitrine display over to the right, which we'll see in a minute. And she had great items in there. Unfortunately, it was really highly, very highly marked up. And I think she even had 30% off overall on the booth or in those items specifically. And even with the 30% off, it still ended up being way too expensive. So anyway, I mean, you know, it's always good. I love to go to antique malls because I feel like there's no better way to kind of educate yourself about things than to see it in person, to feel what it's supposed to feel like, to look at these items and to get a sense of their era and where they come from and whatnot. So, you know, when there's something it's tactical and it's in your hands, it's very different versus kind of seeing it online. And you know me, I am all about online research. I love the aspect that we have, you know, the internet available to us 24/7 to look up whatever we want. You just open your phone and tell Siri to tell you what you need. And, you know, and she tells you. She's great. She's reliable like that. But still, I think nothing really truly beats kind of the experience of going into antique malls and thrift stores and seeing specifically antique malls because, again, you just get a real sense of what vintage and antique jewelry looks like, and you see things that you may have not previously ever seen before. So it's a great experience, and I always like, for me, this is kind of like how I unwind a little bit. Like I like to go out and I like to look at pretty things. I just like to explore. I like to see new things and always want to see what's available for me, you know, potentially, or other people. It's just fabulous. Those are like Fake-A-Lites. I thought that was Bakelite, those bangle bracelets down there, but they were not. They were Fake-A-Lites. So I did look at quite a few items again in this display, which she had on sale, but it was just like way too expensive for me. Okay, so I am here now in Bath, Pennsylvania, and it was like a quick 15-minute ride from Easton, Phillipsburg area. And so this is like a super charming town. It's very small. It's got a main street. I think it was like established in 1737. So there's these great kind of like old mills that have been converted into hotels and antique shops and stuff like that. I think it's super, super charming. And so I'm gonna be going over here to a place called S.Seem Antiques. I have gone here previously. It's just a great like antique shop, and it's got creaky floors and it smells like antiques. It's like all those great things. And so I've gotten, they don't have a huge collection of jewelry, but I have gotten a few pieces here previously. So let's go. S.Seem Antiques. It is just such a great kind of antique store in Bath, Pennsylvania. And like I said, super charming town. And it's 2 floors. I think they have over 25 different antique dealers, and just really great items. They have a good amount of jewelry. You know, obviously it's not all entirely jewelry, but they have a great amount of jewelry. Some really nice items up here in the front case, especially that 5 carat, 18 karat gold diamond ring. Yes, 2,500, firm. And I like that Bakelite cherry pin there as well. Very, very pretty. So it's just really pretty. I like also those Limoges portrait porcelain cameos kind of right there. Not cameos, they're portrait pins on porcelain, hand painted. And some of these kind of cosmetic little cases are very pretty. I like that little Limoges purse. I asked to see that as well. So nice items up front. I have gotten some very good deals here. Everything I think is well priced. Previously, I had gotten a really pretty Arthur Pepper art necklace at Seam Antiques, and it was I think it was on sale. It was like 20% off or something like that. But I love it. I wear it all the time. It's very pretty, very elaborate, kind of Rococo-esque looking. So just, yeah, like I said, I love like the heavy floors in there, and it's all very creaky and all very original and beautiful, and it's just such a antiquing vibe. It's just everything I think that you want when you go antiquing. So yeah, you know, like I said before, you always want to look at kind of like the mannequins and see what's hanging off there, because sometimes you do see some goodies. That's a really pretty, what looks like a sterling silver cameo, and some nice rhinestone pieces there as well. Always want to just check out every kind of little nook and cranny. Make sure you're not missing anything there. Some more pretty rhinestone right there. Oh, that one's very nice, that necklace. I don't know if I looked at that. That's fabulous. So funny because you know, you watch these videos back and then you're like, yeah, I totally missed that one. A little Monet snowman. That Monet made quite a lot of charms, because they also made charm bracelets. I've come across a lot of fun little Monet charms, definitely, uh, all the time. I have a great one currently. It's like a little spinner charm. It says "I love you," and it's kinetic. It's very cool. So there's really nice kind of some sterling silver pieces in here. There was a pair of Florenza earrings. I don't know if you could see them right there. That's actually a pair of Florenza clip-on earrings. I did ask to see those. Unfortunately, they were missing a rhinestone. So, and of course, they were a very kind of rarish Navette that I knew I didn't have the replacement for. So I passed on those, even though they were very pretty. But lots of little lovelies in here, and like I said, lots of nice sterling silver pieces. I like that kind of mid-century modern cutout leaf piece right there next to the belt buckle. I did ask to see that as well. So I did take out kind of a lot of pieces here. And like I said, some, unfortunately, there was like, would have a bent pin or they would have some issues. So I did end up putting quite a few pieces back, or, missing rhinestone, whatever it might be. Because if I'm going to, pay a little more to purchase items for resale in an antique mall, I do want to make sure that the pieces are, good quality. They don't have any kinds of issues that I'm going to have to repair or whatnot. Uh, you know, I usually, I think, about my jewelry bags and what I pull out of my jewelry bags and the good quality. So, and those are always literally costing me like, pennies, 50 cents, a dollar, because the bag is usually 5, 6 pounds and they cost $40. Here, there's just like more nice jewelry pieces, some nice Native American. I like that turquoise ring right there. Very cool. And everything here is just like, I think, very well priced. It is not overpriced by any means. I think sometimes you go into these, what you think are like a little bit fancier antique stores, and you think the prices are going to be astronomical. This is not the case at all with S.Seem. I think it is very competitively priced. It's great. It's nice that you can go in and you don't have to just look at everything. You can actually do some shopping. Those are pretty too, those turquoise clip-on earrings. And you don't feel guilty. You can get some really beautiful pieces. I got a really gorgeous bracelet here last time. It was a Art Nouveau, and it had some cranes, some kissing cranes. It was a gorgeous bracelet, and I think I paid maybe like $22 for it. It's beautiful sterling silver old piece, and I wear it all the time. I get a lot of compliments on it. I included it in my last Pennsylvania haul video. Some cute brooches again here, some sterling silver pieces and whatnot, little filigree. Those filigree styles are very traditional in Portugal and Spain. You saw those coming out of. Sometimes they also refer to as canatille. And Mexico also makes that filigree style as well. So sometimes you'll see pieces like that coming out of Mexico. And here there's some fun items too. Like I said, it's just like there's just like this aspect of exploring and discovering, which is so fun. The only thing was I couldn't figure out how to open this case. There was stuff on top too. So like I went to open it a little bit and the stuff on top shifted. I was like, oh boy, I'm just going to put that right back. That's a really pretty brooch. I like that, this one right here that I picked up. But of course, the one item that I pick up doesn't have a price on it. But I think it's very cool and nicely manufactured. I like it that has its Japan kind of aspect to it too, which is that blackening of which the rhinestones are set. That was definitely a cool piece. A lot of like, kind of farmhouse inspired items. I mean, considering it's in, it's rural Pennsylvania, so there is there's a lot of that for sure. There's also, I have picked up some very interesting German pieces. There's a big German population in that area. And actually, after I went to S.Seem, there was this like fantastic strudel place down the street that I went to, and they were like hand rolling strudel. It was so awesome. And it was more kind of in the Hungarian style of strudel making. So they were like 16 inches long, and they had savory strudel and they had sweet strudel. So I picked up a couple of strudels and they were so great. My mother and I had an apple strudel with coffee the next day for breakfast. It was fabulous. It's just so nice though, I think, to just, people making things by hand, handcrafted. And apparently that strudel place has been there, I think like something like 50 years or something. Anyway, back to antiquing. I love this. I love this staircase. I just, it's like you're in a house, and there's stuff to buy in that house. And like, look at the floors. Like the pine floors are just, it's so nice in there. There's some items over here as well. There's also some really great local art featured throughout the antique store. I really like that one up there. I think this one was priced $145. It's pretty pricey. I like that one a whole lot. And a lot of the stuff, it just wasn't like localized found goods. I saw things in here from Louisiana and New Orleans, which I always think is funny because I'm like, oh, I'm all the way up here and I'm still finding items from Louisiana and New Orleans. They had a great selection of paper goods, ephemera. I love antique Christmas cards. I mean, a lot of this is based on hand done illustrations, and I think they're so beautiful. You're going to see, I found some, I think I filmed it. I found some really weird ones that featured a series of children in eggs. Here we go. Check this out. This is very MC Escher to me, kind of, but I don't know. I have these cherubic, angelic babies, these like rosy cheeked little children. And look at that. They're sailing in an eggshell. It's so odd. I think they're very charming though. Very cool. I should do some research on that and just see, like, they have to be something. And that one over there is a little boy, and I think he's riding a tricycle, and the tricycle is also an egg. See if I go back to that. Yeah. So odd, right? Very cool though. I was very tempted to get a couple of these, but I have, and I love this one. Look at these like cutesy babies. Clever card. I have so much art that needs to be hung in my house. I love purchasing art. I love purchasing paper goods. Here in New Orleans, we have beautiful Mardi Gras ball invitations from the 1930s and 40s, and I come across them every so often, but I just don't have, I love this postcard. That's so beautiful. I just don't have any more room. Or it's so easy to buy. It's so easy to travel with. You take it back and it's kind of like a piece of just, you know, something beautiful that you can bring back with you and always keep in your home to remember your trips by. So my husband and I, we always like purchasing art. But here we are, we have too much art. I love all of these old cosmetic items. I also find these tins like very charming. You know, you have the powder puffs, and you have talc powder, and look how fun these are. That's an old Jergens talc powder tin, which is so fabulous. It looks like it's like maybe Lily of the Valley. Look how beautiful these are. Again, probably hand illustrated labels. You know, I love the font work on them, the coloration, so beautiful. So yeah, some very interesting items in here to look at for sure. Some bird illustrations. And over here, there are some fun jewelry items in some drawers. I think this is such a fun way of displaying jewelry because, again, you're just like looking through these drawers and there's this element of discovery. That's a pretty kind of like brass Art Nouveau piece right there. Um, I should have looked at that. I wish I would have looked at the back of that. I'm surprised I didn't. What's marked? $23. Oh, it's sterling silver too. It looks like brass. I guess, let's see. What do we say about the back of that? No, it's a rollover clasp, so that's a revivalist piece. And if it's marked 925, then it definitely is a revival piece, but it's very, very pretty. This is an interesting piece of plastic, and it was marked by the manufacturer. I want to say it said Denmark on the back. Possibly, oh, there we go, Buck and Dykman. I think an early plastic. Yeah, so, you know, just checking out kind of all of the goods here, seeing what we have. I can't see what that says. Oh, it's a Monet piece. Okay. You know, Monet is still manufactured. I forget who owns the license currently, but if you go to department stores, I think you can still purchase Monet jewelry. Sarah Coventry, I love this, that the fact that this was new and still in the box or new old stock. It's getting more and more rare to find Sarah Coventry items still in the original boxes. So I did pick this up. I collect Sarah Coventry, and like I said, I just love the fact that it was in that original box. They're based in Newark, New York. Sarah Coventry. I like these clip earrings a whole lot. These are very pretty and they kind of reminded me almost of like a Florenza style. I don't think that I picked these up. I wish I would have because they just look like an unsigned, those are $7, unsigned, but very pretty, very nice quality, nicely made. They look like they likely would have been something even though they were unmarked. And then here we had some vintage Halloween cutouts, which were just so super charming. I love these so much. They gave me such nostalgia. Just, I mean, this takes me right back to my childhood. This ghost, I think we definitely had him. I remember you put batteries in it and his eyes would blink. And they were 3 for $5, which is pretty excellent. So I did end up getting a few of these. I put them in my luggage. They traveled perfectly. They were nice and flat. I put them in the middle partition so they wouldn't get damaged. Love this switch. I just remember seeing these. People would hang these on their doors, on their homes for Halloween. They were just like so cute. We definitely had this witch. I remember this witch. I like that cat too. They're just fun. It looks cute as Bath, Pennsylvania, you guys. I was just so charmed by it. I love going there and going to S.Seem Antiques and also the Steckel House, which is a bed and breakfast. I so appreciate you for tuning in and watching me shop throughout Pennsylvania. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you on the next one. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And stay tuned because I'll be doing a pretty extensive haul video to show you kind of all the goodies I picked up on this trip. Take care, you guys. Have a great weekend. Bye.